welcome to Newsround, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. In our top stories, normalcy returns to Orire local government area as rescued pupils and teachers reunite with their families and injured victims receive medical care. There's relief in Kogi State as Governor Usman Ododo receives 4 rescued kidnapped victims from the Kina local government area, vowing that those responsible will be brought to justice. Nigeria concludes evacuation of its citizens from South Africa as the final batch of 306 returnees arrive, bringing the total to more than 1,400 airlifted on 7 flights. And in the Middle East, tension boils over as fresh attacks shake Iran and other Gulf states. Welcome once again. I am Bola Soka. The week began on a note of relief when Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State officially received the teachers and students rescued on Monday from the Ahoro, Esinle and Yawota communities in Orire local government area after their abduction. Receiving all 44 rescued victims at the Executive Council chambers of the Governor's office in Ibadan, Governor Makinde said the government and people of Oyo State owe the world gratitude for standing united against terrorism. He also assured the victims of the government's full support and appreciated President Bola Tinubu for this intervention.
This is what a victory march looks like. Though frail, emaciated and visibly shaken, survivors are lights from the birth, mostering a sense of purpose they barely possess. The Orire 44 have finally regained their freedom. After 56 days of unimaginable hardship and isolation, they are back on safe ground. Freedom came at a staggering cost. Of the 46 taken, teachers Michael Oyedoku and Deacon John Olaleye paid the ultimate sacrifice. 5 security agents, Amotekun officers, local vigilantes and brave hunters also perished in the struggle.
Shall we rise to welcome the Executive Governor of your state?
In his address, Governor Makinde extended profound gratitude to every individual who joined the chorus, calling for these lives to be saved, while specifically acknowledging President Tinubu's pivotal support.
On behalf of the government and the people of Oyo State, say thank you to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for his support in seeing this through. Also, all the leadership of these security agencies in Nigeria. I'm still short of words because this has happened all over the country with its challenges. But when it came to Oyo State, it was totally different.
The General Officer commanding 2 Division, Major General Chinedu Nebefe, commended the exceptional bravery displayed by all participating personnel, extending a salute from the tactical ground teams to those in the air and those at sea to their commanding officers.
So the operation is a complex one. It lasted for more than a month, and they focused mainly on identifying the terrorist kingpins that masterminded the crime. We focused on also dismantling their network and cutting off their logistics and the informants within the Oyo National Park and other parts of the country. At the last phase of the operation that we had, was blocking their major logistic hub. And I'm sure I'll mention the town called Asham to block the place and finally put pressure on them. It was now they willing to release unconditionally. But we are not giving up on them. Say no, it's not about releasing. We must see to the end of the terrorists operating in that particular region.
Governor Makinde has requested a 48-hour window to finalize medical and psychological assessment for the survivors. He assured families that despite this brief observation period, they would have controlled access to their loved ones.
And the Orire incident remained on the front burner of national discourse during the week, with Governor Seyi Makinde calling for a thorough investigation into the abduction of the teachers and students recently rescued from the forests. The governor said Nigerians deserve a full and transparent account of the incident, including who was responsible, whether there were institutional failures, negligence or collusion at any level, and the measures required to prevent a reoccurrence.
The reunion of these children and teachers with their families does not mark the end of this painful chapter. It marks the beginning of another responsibility, our collective responsibility to establish the truth. The circumstances surrounding this incident are sufficiently grave and unusual to warrant independent scrutiny beyond our domestic institutions. I therefore, with a full sense of responsibility as the Executive Governor of Oyo State, call on the appropriate international human rights and accountability mechanisms, including those within the United Nations system, to closely examine the facts surrounding this abduction and the circumstances of its resolution. Such scrutiny is not intended to undermine our institutions. Rather, it is intended to reinforce public confidence that the truth will be established and that every person found to bear responsibility, regardless of office, influence, or affiliation, will be held accountable.
And while the dust raised by the Orire kidnap and rescue incident was yet to settle, the Senate on Tuesday cautioned the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, against making statements which, according to it, could undermine the efforts of the federal government and the nation's security agencies in tackling terrorism and kidnapping. The position formed part of resolutions adopted after lawmakers considered a motion sponsored by Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele on the successful rescue of 39 abducted school children and 7 teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State.
72 hours after the rescue of 39 school pupils and teachers abducted in Orire local government area of Oyo State, lawmakers reconvened for plenary with glowing tributes to the nation's security personnel, as contained in a motion sponsored by the Senate's leader.
That the abduction represented a disturbing expansion of organized criminal activities into the southwest geopolitical zone and constituted a direct attack on the right of every Nigerian child to education in a safe and secure environment. The successful rescue operation was achieved at considerable cost, as gallant members of the Nigerian Armed Forces and the Nigerian Police Force displayed extraordinary courage, patriotism, and uncommon professionalism in confronting the terrorists, leading to the ultimate sacrifice of Lieutenant F.A. Isaac, then Private Silas Musa, 81 Battalion, Nigerian Army, and Sergeant Abena John Jerome.
From the government of President Goodluck Jonathan, we have recorded about 1,700 pupils abducted. And I also know that there's a safe school initiative established by the government. My question is it working?
Everybody is bothered. As it is today, we feel that another community will soon witness this same occurrence. It's like, where next will it happen? The same intelligence that they have used or that they are using to rescue all these abducted children should also be used to forestall it.
In summary, the need for us to incorporate the provision of psychological support, trauma counseling, and rehabilitation for the rescued victims, not just for the Oyo victims, but every other kidnapped victims.
The Edo State lawmaker took the prayers a step further.
The governor of Oyo State calling on the United Nations to investigate the overall circumstances surrounding the kidnap and even the rescue. I thought that was the most unstatemanly. He was carrying partisan politics too far, and this Senate should condemn his unguided statement. Desist from trivializing what obviously is a national effort.
Seconder, please. As you speak, is something that transcends borders. It's something that the entire world is facing, and is doing his best to deal with the situation.
The additional prayer is seconded by Senator Anyekan Bassi.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The upper chamber observes a minute's silence.
Rest in perfect peace.
Consequently, the Senate further urged the federal government to promptly pay all statutory death benefits, insurance claims, pension and other welfare entitlements owing to the families of the fallen security personnel.
And the Senate has also passed a bill for an act to repeal the Birth and Death Compulsory Registration Act 2026 after consideration of a report by the Committee on National Identity Card and National Population seeking to provide an electronic civil registration system. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezeke, Channels Television News.
And there were more breakthroughs in the fight against insecurity recorded during the week, one of which was in Kogi State, where gunmen abducted the principal of Government Secondary School Oduekina, a National Examinations Council ad hoc official, and 4 students during the ongoing NECO examinations on Tuesday in the state. The police commissioner, Mr. Naziru Bello Kankara, says security personnel, including the military, vigilantes and local hunters, were being mobilized while the abductors demanded a 10 million naira ransom for the school principal.
Department in charge of schools. As you are all aware, the unfolding situation was the attack of Government Secondary School Oloa in Dekina local government yesterday by a non-gunman at about 15:30 hours. Some students were writing their NECO exams, and unfortunately, the abandoned part of the school that has not been used was used by the principal of the school and the NECO supervisor. While they were writing the exams, they were attacked, and in the process, 4 students were abducted, namely Dorcas Sunday and Dorcas, 2 female and 2 boys, but including the principal and the NECO official. The police responded to, with other security forces, and 2 boys were rescued. But now, as I'm talking to you, the abductors are still holding on to the principal, Mr. Daniel Iya, and the NECO supervisor, Mr. Solomon Audu, are still in their custody. So as at now, we still have two female students, the principal and the NECO supervisor in their custody. As at this morning, I mobilized all security forces in the state, including the military, the vigilante groups and hunters who know the terrain very well, and we are in pursuit of the fleeing criminals. And as at now, intelligence available to us reveal that they have even made contact with the family of the principal of the school, and they have made some demands for ransom.
And not long after that, Governor Usman Ododo received the group of victims rescued from the kidnapping after an investigation into after which he also ordered an investigation into why the previously closed school was approved as a NECO examination center.
This incident is a shocking one to us. In Kogi State, from primary level to the secondary level, both internal and external exam fees, state government, Kogi State government are fully in charge. If you now say education is free in Kogi State, I think we are not making a mistake. But to our surprise, we are trying our best. Mr. President is on top of his game. And we at the sub-nation, we are trying our possible best. But there are enemies. There are self-centered, selfish people within the country around us that doesn't want this country to progress. I see no reason. If education from primary level to secondary level had been made free here in Kogi State, how comes that fake center for examination malpractices? The center, I don't know, probably after the investigation we'll be able to know whether either WAEC or NECO now approve a center that will host only 10 students. And unfortunately, these students are not our internal students. They are external students taken to a location that is hard to reach, not accessible, and this is a school that has been shut down. We moved the students from that location to the town. In these states, we joke with the security of our people.
And still to come on Newsround, Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu visited residents of Ogombo in Etiosa local government area after the recent flooding incident. Details just ahead. Welcome back. And the midweek saw Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, visiting residents of Ogombo in Etiosa local government area after the recent flooding that submerged roads and disrupted daily activity. The governor, accompanied by members of his cabinet, inspected the affected areas after public concerns on social media. Residents, many of whom now rely on canoes for transportation, are calling on the state government to implement lasting flood control measures.
Ogombo Road in Etiosa local government area has been completely submerged, cutting off movement and disrupting residents' daily activities.
It's really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. You can see I'm packing out from Ogombo.
Residents say the flooding has made life unbearable and are urging the government to provide an urgent and lasting solution.
This flood carry many people house. People are suffering for this Ogombo, Etiosa local government, Lagos State.
We want government to shine a gutter to this place because almost the problem that we're having in this place is the problem of gutter.
We couldn't even go out to get food, and even the shops where they sell things, nobody is supplying them.
Triggered by heavy rainfall and poor drainage, the flooding prompts Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Deputy Governor Kadri Amzat and other officials to inspect the affected community. The flood has halted tricycle operations, while canoes have become the only means of transportation along the submerged road.
In any disaster, one will find one opportunity to survive. But mine is not just because of the business. I won't be happy to see women back in their children, carrying heavy loads and will be stranded. So I have to come up with this to assist them.
This water is too much. Imagine canoe is collecting 3,000 per head. Sometimes they will even tell you 5,000 naira.
From Ogombo, the inspection team moves to Songotedo to assess flooded areas and overflowing drainage channels, serving both Songotedo and Ogombo communities. At Betu in Wereku in Awoyaya, Ibeju, Lekki, school children and residents wade through floodwaters daily, renewing calls for a permanent solution.
This year is the most worst one. But with our own experience, we see that the coastal road they have blocked everything.
This place is just phase 1 of the water. Those of us living inside, very close to the coastal side here, in my own personal compound, water is reaching me inside I'm wearing rain boots. After wearing that rain boots, water will be entering inside the rain boots.
We are actually begging, please, for him to do something for our community.
Governor Sanwo-Olu urges developers and property owners to obtain drainage clearance before embarking on any construction projects.
Here where we're standing now, we need to come back here at some point before the end of it and come and raise the decompa so that the height will be higher, right, and that the water can flow even a lot more. The other thing is that the swarm boogies that are walking down will get here at some point to ensure that the size of the body of water is maintained. Once all of that is maintained, at least on this corridor, the water will eventually find itself, to the Lekki Lagoon or into the main lagoon at some point.
The state government is constructing a major drainage channel along Chevron Drive to tackle recurring flooding on the island.
This is another body of water that will give relief to this large channel that is coming. And at the back there where those white buildings are, there is another channel all the way from the Kota River that will go and discharge onto the lagoon. So there are 2 outlets that you're seeing here that are going to discharge onto the lagoon, and we believe these 2 solutions will significantly relieve some of the pressures we have seen, even from the other side, all the way from Orchid, all the way from Megamond, all the way from Oshapa, London. This is where you see the exit onto the lagoon.
The Lagos state government says it remains committed to tackling climate change and urges residents to keep drainage channels free of waste.
And Nigeria's evacuation of its citizens from South Africa has been concluded with the arrival of the final batch of 306 returnees. Their arrival brings the total number of evacuees to more than 1,400 transported home on 7 flights.
The Air Peace aircraft taxis in, and shortly after, the returnees file out. It's been a hectic but rewarding repatriation exercise for the federal government, which reiterates that the safety of Nigerians abroad is a high priority, and discussions are on to bring the remnant remaining back home.
The federal government has done its bit, and we are trying to see what we can do with regards to that, because we have some remnant of people. But I must say that these are people that didn't show up for screening when we were asking them to come. So they made up their mind late.
Several state governments and individuals have signaled readiness to support returnees, but there is an appeal to 11 others to assist.
Ebonyi, Ogun, Kogi, Oyo, Ondo, Kwara, Ekiti, Osun and Rivers. So we appeal to these 11 states to please contact us for the details of their returnees and do something for them. They need rehabilitation. 2
of the returnees say it's time to head home to reunite with family.
Yeah, I have relatives, I have parents, I have my mom, I have my dad. They are both here in Lagos State. I've been doing something before I left. I used to be a teacher, I used to be a banker before I left for South Africa. So now I have to synchronize to the community or the environment and see how fast I can be able to integrate. Back here, Nigeria is waiting for me.
So do you have relatives in Lagos?
Yes, I do have 3 younger brothers in Lagos.
With the arrival of this final batch, Nigeria now brings to a close its emergency evacuation of Nigerians from South Africa following the xenophobic tensions. While the flights may have come to a close, attention now shifts to the resettlement and reintegration of the returnees. From the Nako area of the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, Bukola Joe Oketumbi, Channels Television News.
And we end Newsround in the Middle East, where tensions escalated on Wednesday following multiple attacks involving Iran and several Gulf countries, as the U.S. and Iran continued to confront each other over security in the strategically important Strait of Hormuz. While Iran is reported to have targeted vessels transiting parts of the strait, the United States says it has significantly reduced Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping.
Passengers traveling via Dubai and Sharjah airports on Tuesday morning faced flight cancellations after Yemen's Houthis targeted an international airport in Saudi Arabia with missiles and drones, disrupting services connecting both Middle Eastern nations. The incident comes as tensions continue rising following failed mediations between the US and Iran, particularly concerning the Strait of Hormuz. The UAE government reports Iran missiles attacked two national tankers transiting the southern shipping lane of the strait within Omani territorial waters, killing one person and injuring 8 others. Other GCC nations fielding attacks from Iran include Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. A latest video by the US Central Command also shows a series of attacks against a submarine and ship maintenance facility in Iran, saying the operation marks the first time American forces have employed sea drones in combat operations. It also claims the strikes have degraded Iran's ability to continue attacking commercial shipping. Iran's Persian Gulf Strait Authority has now declared the strait closed. However, the US claims otherwise, stating it will enforce a fresh blockade at 12 midnight UAE time. For this, President Trump is proposing a 20% fee for safe passage, a plan which could further irritate already high shipping costs caused by disruptions to movement on the strait. As tensions continue to rise, the UK government has updated its travel advice for the UAE, urging British nationals to review travel plans. From Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, Maya Wadigoke for Channels Television News.
And that sums it up on Newsround, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.